hold it. Wait a second. Wait a second. Guys, break it up a second. You know, for those of you who are not familiar with rugby, it's an easy way to look at it. This is really American football. This is the way our game started. When Princeton played Rutgers in the first American football game in this country, it was really rugby. Watch how simple it is. Give me a center. Give me a couple of guards. Give me a couple of tackles. 2 tight ends, quarterback in. We just tightened everything up. Down, set, hut, hut.
Okay, back to the action. The ball is lateral to the backs by that quarterback called a scrum half and then kicked. Uh-oh.
Ball's out of bounds. What do we do? That's easy. We have a restart. Teams on both sides of the ball form 2 lines and simply have a jump ball. It's called a line out. 2, 3, 4, Buffalo.
Rugby is a continuous action game, meaning when a player is tackled, he must release the ball. Then it's one back when one pack beats the other to the ball and pushes them off the ball.
That's a good one. Try given. We call it a touchdown in American football. Well, it comes from a try because in order for this to have counted, he has to touch it down on the ground. And now the conversion will be kicked from the point he touched it down directly out. And that's rugby. Easy.
Well done, Bo, although you did get a little too upset about the ball being kicked into touch.
Aye, lad, out of bounds, but we're using that the American terms over here. I wasn't going to give him that try, but figured I had to.
All right, let's move ahead to the starting football at the University of Georgia, not too far from here. Bell is an outstanding back for the Irish. He has played just about every position in international rugby in the back line. Andre Bachelet, since captaining the California Golden Bears to 3 national championships, 3 times an All-American, is the captain of the U.S. Eagles. Murray Kidd has taken over as the Irish coach, although he is from New Zealand. This is his 2nd test as their coach. He coached Ireland to an opening victory against Fiji a couple of weeks ago. Jack Clark at the helm of the United States, also the California Golden Bears collegiate coach. He's the head coach and general manager of the United States team. All right, we're going to get underway today. The United States on your right-hand side wearing a new uniform today, red, white, and blue stripes, as we take a look at our referee, George Gadjovich of Toronto, Canada. He'll be assisted today by the touch judges. Drop goals today are worth 3, as always. Tries, touchdowns are 5. Penalties a goal, 3. And conversions are worth 2 right after they score touchdowns or tries. The referee is the timekeeper, and George says we're ready to go. We're underway from Georgia. The kick comes down to the Irish halfback, Savramuto, and already the ball on the floor. The wet conditions taking their toll on the knock-on. The United States will have the first scrummage. Now this scrummage, folks, you've seen this before, brought us the line of scrimmage. The Irish got a little bit testy, so the referee awards a penalty. The United States will get a break here. They knocked it forward. You can't play it forward, as Bo said a moment ago. And with the Irish not retreating 10 yards, the United States will get a penalty closer to the goal line. Quite a decision. Now the U.S. has options whether or not they want to run at the goal line or take a kick at goal. And it appears the United States early on a free kick now. They are going to go ahead and run it in. Here's the pass outside. Whacked right away was Dan Lyle. The United States maintaining the possession, getting help from Randall. Randall in front of the post. Bachelet gets the ball back. Drop goal attempt. It's up, and it is deadly. Matt Alexander making his debut at fly half for the Eagles, 6 foot, 185 pound out of Denver, and he delivers with a drop goal, 3-0 to the United States.
Dave, what a perfect start for the Eagles. This is exactly what they wanted to do. They wanted to pin it down deep. Here's another great look at the action. Andre Bachelet to Matt Alexander. He decides to stop in his tracks, kick a beautiful drop kick, puts the Eagles up 3-0. You don't see drop kicks too often, Dave. Here it is again, Bo. What do you think?
Well, I'll tell you what, the Americans, the United States couldn't have played it any better. I love the fact that they didn't take the kick off the penalty, that they tried to take it right to the Irish, and then, as you say, Matt Alexander, a beauty of a drop kick.
All right, the Irish kick off back to the United States. Elwood delivers to the U.S. pack. United States controlling the ball just 10 yards away from the halfway line or the 50-yard line. And the ball being tied up. And finally, it's delivered outside. Again to Alexander. Alexander delivers the boot forward, and he does find touch. Ball just dies across the way, still in play. Picked up across the way by Richard Wallace, who puts it back into the center of the field. Now the United States on the attack into Irish territory. Peeled back for Bachelet. It's going to be a sloppy day all day, but it appears the United States, at least, has taken the first initiative. U.S. playing the ball inside Irish territory.
That's exactly what they wanted to do, Dave. Matt Alexander failed to find touch because the ball got caught up in the water, but we already saw Dan Lyle twice so far make some spirited runs, and that's exactly what they got to do in order for the U.S. to be successful today.
I think that's what Jack Clark exactly wants to do. That's making a statement for U.S. rugby, and you cannot be intimidated by these great international sides.
All right, ball put in by Servamuto. Out it comes the Irish side. They got Gagan outside. Gagan on the run. He had a spectacular try in Dublin. Finally knocked down. The Irish inside the United States 25-yard line. They carry forward the big prop, Neil Francis. Francis getting close to the U.S. line. And again, it comes out. Servamuto out to his back line. He gets Elwood. They tie the ball up in the centers with good tackling by the United States. Irish on third phase rugby. Elwood gets it out to his centers. The bell into the line with Staples. And the U.S. cover defense is across the field in time. Ireland carries on with the possession. You don't have to give it up if you can use rugby technique to keep hold of the control. Servamuto wants it. Out it comes. Off to the weak side. Ireland going in close. Paddy Johns with ball number 8. He stopped very short of the goal line, or just short, I should say. Well, I tell you what, these teams, everybody thought would come out kind of trying to feel each other out in the rain. That is not the case today. They're going after it right at the
Absolutely, and the Irish pack was able to beat the United States to that first loose ruck in the right corner, but then the United States came back, their pack, and beat Ireland to the secondary possession on the left side. So they're playing they're stymieing each other right now.
All right, the scrummage will be reset. It fell down. May not look at first glance, but a very sophisticated form of sport there. 16 men pushing against one another, trying to gain possession of the ball. The Irish, second row in control. Servamuto is going to wait for it now. And the referee, Gadjovich, calls it.
It looks like the Irish are trying to flex their muscles a little bit early. They're going to try to do a pushover try. They're 5 meters out. They're going to have Popwell and the rest of his forwards just try to push the ball over for Johns to tap down.
Right, they were able to break down Jerry McDonald there, which is the United States loose head drop. They were able to break him down. He's very strong.
All right, the United States guilty of collapse. And as a result, a major penalty. The Irish now have an opportunity. Will they kick it for goal or will they run it? As the United States attempted just a moment ago.
It looks like they're going to elect for another scrum. They know that they can dominate in the scrum.
That's their third option. They elect to do it. It gives their backs plenty of space to work. It ties up the U.S. forwards. Into the back, going to the legs of Paddy Johns. And the United States gets a break. Ireland. We're going to take a break right now. We'll be right back.
Presenting the trouble with money. Valets.
Cedric, starch the shirts. The shirts.
You're welcome, sir.
We never said being a millionaire was going to be easy.
We are starting the...
For the last 30 years, it's been considered the greatest of all sports events, the king of the Gridiron Wars, where the year's best football teams battle for ultimate supremacy, the Super Bowl. Now, Viacom Cable looks back over the last 3 decades of America's ultimate game and the teams that fought for the title of world champion in the NFL on TNT Special, Super Bowl 30th Anniversary.
Mysteries.
Something truly unearthly crashed out here.
Magic.
I do psychic research on houses affected by supernatural events.
Miracles.
Modern science teaches us that this phenomenon should not occur and does not occur, but it does occur.
Investigate the bizarre world of unexplained phenomena. Patrick McNee hosts Mysteries, Magic, and Miracles. Sundays at 9:30, 6:30 Pacific, exclusively on the Sci-Fi Channel.
The United States in the loose. Although the Irish continue to move the ball down in the maul. If the ball is handled, it's called a maul. If it's on the floor, it's called a ruck. The running now is by McQuilkin. He's tied up. And the U.S. picks it up. They get a break. Good tackling by the United States. This is what we saw in Dublin a year ago.
That was Richard Tardits on that last tackle for the United States.
Alexander's clearing kick. Skips, and that's going to put Staples deep in his own territory. Jim, who's considered one of the bravest of all international rugby players, picks up the ball and scoots it into touch.
The U.S. has good field position here, Dave, but that last ruck, when Tardits made the tackle, the man who made that play work was Ray Green. He's the one who drove over the top, enabling the U.S. to secure ball. But if we go back a little bit, when Matt Alexander had that penalty kick to go for a touch, he's got to make that on a fly. He cannot let that ball bounce and bounce. Those are the kind of things that will kill the U.S.
But this whole sequence started at the other end when Paul Wallace broke down Jerry McDonald. So that's that junkyard dog Irish pack that we were talking about. That time worked against it because the ultimate United States field position right here is because of that.
The U.S. taking the line out. Bachelet to Alexander. Alexander going to put up the high ball. They're going to test Staples early. May have been a little too far, though. He's in goal, puts it down, and the rugby equivalent of a fair catch. The mark is awarded by the referee, Gadjovich. So Staples will have an opportunity to punt the ball for position for Ireland.
Here's a great look at it. Another great line-out ball by Aaron Freeman in the front of the line. Alexander with the high ball. It's just a little bit too deep. The U.S. were there, but it was just a little bit too deep.
The Irish claiming that when Staples put the ball down in goal, it constituted a touchback, but when he called the fair catch, it negated that. So Staples will deliver the touch kick and get Ireland out of trouble for the minute as he backs the United States up to about the Ireland 25-yard line.
Very atypical. The Irish perhaps not kicking as well as they're used to today so far.
Well, the conditions aren't favorable for kicking, but what's favorable for the U.S. right now is their tall locks. 6'9". They're very young. They only have one cap between them, but they're going to do a lot of good jumping today for the U.S. team.
Tom Billups tosses the ball in for the United States. Ireland with the line-out penalty, lifting, and as a result, the U.S. will have a penalty, and they're going to take a shot at goal. So Matt Alexander, who has already scored the United States 3 points today with a drop goal, will have a penalty goal, just like a field goal. It'll be worth 3 points if successful. He's just inside the 25-yard line, a slide angle. And he's waiting now for his kicking tee.
He initially appeared to want to go for the sand to use as a tee and then call for the plastic tee.
Tees are somewhat new to international rugby. They were approved about 4 or 5 years ago. They went a long time, hundreds of years, without them before. Alexander, as you saw, plays with the Denver Barbarians. And he has taken over for Mark Williams, who now finds himself starting at fullback for the United States. Okay, here's Alexander's attempt. Just wide to the right. And with the ball going over the end zone or the in-goal area, we have what amounts to a touchback. And we'll restart play with a 25-yard dropout. One more look at the miss here.
Yeah, Dave, as you see the ball slide wide, the U.S. has to take advantage of every opportunity they have to score points.
Exactly, Brian. That was one that the U.S. let slip by.
All right, Elwood puts the ball in play, and Ireland delivering a blow. Dangerous play, says the referee, so a penalty to the United States, and immediately they signal for another shot at goal. This one, slightly more severe angle, but about from 40 yards when you take into consideration the angles. Take a look and see if we can find it here.
Right. Yeah, you can see the first guy going through. He just barged right into Dan Lyle, who's going up for the ball, allowed Petty Johns to tap back. But another shot for Matt Alexander. Hopefully he can make this one to put the U.S. up at 6-0.
That was Neil Francis who delivered that blow, and he kind of, from time to time, can fall apart. He did the same thing against France when it was tied with Ireland at the half at 12-12, and Neil Francis had a tough time in that game.
This time he nails it. Well, wet conditions at all. Matt Alexander has delivered today 6 points for the United States. Let's have another look.
Here's another look at it. Jack Clark's got to be very happy with the way the U.S. is playing.
We'll be back right after this.
Hey guys, we got a problem. Fanfare is selling our clothes. NFL Pro Line?
Oh, great. Now everyone can look like us.
Big deal. Who could ever pass for us?
This is
gosh, what if they fool the press?
There I was, 4th and goal.
And wearing Pro Line's probably going to get them right on the field, right?
Maybe I'm taking this whole thing a little too serious.
Come on, we can take these guys.
The NFL Pro Line, available at Fanfare.
You feel like walking on the wild side?
Some of the people who benefit most from the Discover card don't even have one. Hi, I'm Scott Hamilton. Each year, the Discover Card youth programs recognize thousands of kids who are making a difference. In fact, Discover Card has already contributed over $16 million in support of this unique collection of programs. So as long as there are kids with dreams, we'll be here, helping them reach those dreams.
There it is. Maybe you'll know it when you finally see it. And realize your heart is racing faster than your engine. Almost there. Or the first time you witness something that can't be happening, but is. How'd they do it? Or when you discover that in a city of so many options, sleep is not one of them. This is the place. You'll understand because your eyes will show you. Yeah. And the feeling in your soul will convince you. You're in a place unlike any other.
All right, Eric Elwood's restart kick. And there's a penalty on the United States, obstruction. And as a result, Ireland now will have a penalty kick inside the United States territory. And will they ask Jim Staples to come on and boot a goal? Instead, it'll be Elwood who will take a shot at goal. Well, I tell you what, Elwood, Eric is known as one of the hardest workers in Irish rugby. He's become an excellent kicker just by his perseverance. Legendary worker.
All week, he's been out extra time in kicking these field goals and giving himself an opportunity to really get used to the conditions here in Atlanta.
Well, he missed the last 2 matches for Ireland. He played in the quarterfinals against Wales, but then missed the U.S. game, or the Fiji game, I'm sorry. And now he's back in the starting lineup. 119 points for Ireland, all on the kicks. He's yet to score a try, but here he is trying to cut the lead in half.
And he's using sand.
About a 45-yard kick, and it's well wide to the left. The United States dodges a bullet, and will restart play with a drop kick at the 25-yard line. This is the precursor of the touchback in American football. Low, windy kick. Finally taken by Elwood. They go inside of their forwards. Now Costello with the run at the United States. They're going to go to the weak side this time with Neil Francis. Everyone's eligible to run in this game. All 15 players can be used offensively. And Ireland not bashful about using their big forwards. Sanbury Muto waiting for the ball. He's well known for talking to his forwards. You can almost hear him up here. Talking, explaining, and pleading right now for Ireland to push forward.
You can see the maul that Ireland set up. They give a very solid platform. They did this very well against Fiji when they went on to score 6 tries in their 44-8 win.
Brian, by platform, you mean the first 3 guys into the ball just lock up and give yourself something to lock onto.
All right. Well, the Irish were patient. Finally, they caught the United States offside. And as a result, Ireland gets a penalty, and they will take another shot at goal. For a major infraction, there are basically 3 options you can call from the marker. That's the point of the infraction. You can kick it into touch for field position. You can take a shot at goal, or you can run it. And you saw Ireland actually use a 4th option down near their goal line. They opted for a scrum, but that's not seen all that often. So once again, we'll see Eric Elwood take a shot at goal.
I think what you were mentioning before about everybody can be a ball carrier in rugby, that's the special appeal for young athletes who like the creativity of this game, because on offense, everybody's a running back. On defense, everybody's a linebacker.
We saw Ireland team, we saw them get a little bit loose. The play was getting a little bit loose. The U.S. was taking it to them. And the strength for the Ireland team today is in the forward pack. And that's why they kept it close, started the maul, and now I believe they're going to be doing the same thing right when they regain possession.
All right, Elwood from 40 yards. United States up 6-0. This time Elwood delivers. Well, a battle of the field goal kickers thus far. Elwood for Ireland delivers for 3. Matt Alexander twice today has delivered for the U.S. Another look.
A great kick, considering the field conditions. You really can't pop it in conditions like this. And although the flags aren't moving, they seem to be knocking down the balls.
All right, we restart play. The kick comes down to the Irish. Patty Johns takes it, moves it forward just outside the 25. And the United States guilty of coming over the top, obstructing Ireland's right to the ball. So that's a major penalty. And the Irish now will probably see the touch kick. And there they bring up Elwood to deliver that. So nope, instead they're going to tap and run. Well, a little surprise here. That's another one of the options. They get it into the centers, McQuilkin and Bell. And Ireland on the second phase. Good tackle on Bell.
That tap and run is what the Murray kid would like to do more of. That's something new to them.
Particularly in these conditions, you expect them to play a more conservative game, but that's not the case. The United States flexing its muscles right now, pushing Ireland back, although they bring it back out again with Popplewell. Popplewell, a man amongst men, driving all of Ireland forward into the United States territory. U.S. waiting, finally comes out. Good tackling by the United States midfielders. Outside it goes. Staples into the line, across to the left wing. And finally, again, Irish patience pays off. The United States penalized.
United States a little bit late now getting to the rucks, and the Irish are making them pay for it.
But the U.S., they're not making that initial tackle. They're running around one or two guys, and it's taking 2 or 3 guys to bring these guys down. They have to make that first initial tackle, put the ball on the floor, so Ireland's going to have to play the ruck, play the quick ball. They just gained about 40 meters with a beautiful kick by Elwood there.
That was the kick of which we spake a moment ago. Kick into touch, and it's kind of analogous to a 4th down and long in football. You get rid of it, put it down the field, and get field position. And now Ireland with great field position. There will be a line out now just outside their goal line, their try line. Early on in the game, the United States with 2 goals. They lead it 6-3, but Ireland knocking at the door.
There's Popplewell right there, waiting for the ball to be inserted.
Terry Kingston was the World Cup squad captain for Ireland. He's a computer technician by trade. The United States, however, surprising, and they're going to run it, and the kick delivered. Counterattack by Staples. They get it to Bell. He's dangerous. And outside to Wallace. They're waiting for it now as Sarvienko delivers. Elwood. They got the big man. That's Corkery in the line. And again, Irish pressure pays off. Another United States penalty. We'll be back with our score, 6-3. We're coming back to Atlanta right after this.
And said I should try America Online. So I did. I've gotten help with my golf swing, I've planned my next vacation, even get stock price updates every 15 minutes. America Online puts over 100 newspapers and magazines right on my screen. I've got worldwide email, point-and-click internet access, and a great web browser. Plus, new features keep getting added. Call the toll-free number and you'll receive your free startup kit and 10 free hours to look around. It's worth a try. You'll see.
The skill. The drama. The passion. The pride. The English Premier League. Monday nights at 11 Pacific, exclusively on Prime Sports.
Ireland awarded a penalty just a moment ago, and they've elected to attempt to tie this game. As you see, the score 6-3. Eric Elwood will be asked to nail it through the uprights. If he is successful, we'll have a tie ball game.
The U.S. is doing much better today in the line-out day. When 94, Ireland crushed them in the scrums, crushed them in the line-outs, but with the added height and the new locks that the U.S. has, and the dimension in the back row forwards for the U.S., they're really doing very well in the lineouts. They stole that last Ireland lineout. Unfortunately, they failed to find touch, and Ireland rebounded.
That was Luke Gross, the former basketball player from Indiana State. Hasn't been playing rugby too long, but brought in just to be able to get up in the air. Now he's going to learn the toughness aspect of the game here. The strength of the U.S. team is the back row, but Ireland right now is beating them in the rucks with back row play.
Elwood now has made it 2 in a row, and Ireland and the United States are all even, a 6-6 tie. So Eric Elwood of Lansdowne Club. And both kickers 2 of 3 this afternoon. Let's have another look. Pumps it right through. And he did that with authority as well in these conditions.
Now it's no time to panic for the U.S., even though Ireland rebounded to tie the score. But now they just want to rebound. They want to regain possession, knock it down in Ireland's end, and keep the forward drive. We haven't seen the forwards drive since early on in the game. We want to see that back. We want to see Lyle with ball in hand, Tardits with ball in hand, and Rob Randall as well. And that's exactly what they're going to try to do here. They're going to try to regain possession so they can go on the attack.
That was Ireland's coach Murray Kidd looking on, and probably likes what he's seen in the last few minutes from his squad.
All right, we're about 15 minutes into this game with a 6-6 tie. 2 40-minute halves. And again, the referee, in this case, George Gadjovich, is the head timekeeper as well as the referee.
For those new to the game, that kick did not travel the required 10 yards, so it's an Ireland scrum at midfield.
Saverimuto wings it out. They got Staples in again. Here's Wallace on the run. Wallace, the good finisher, chips it ahead. Oh, well taken by Mark Williams. Excellent play by Williams. You see a veteran who knew exactly how to handle the situation. So Williams calls the fair catch, and he'll be able to punt the ball and get the United States out of trouble.
Okay, here's we've got to look at the scrum. Ireland's attacking off the base. They did it earlier in the game. This is where they're doing the U.S. very, very much damage. You see Malachi Delay chasing Richard Wallace there, and a beautiful mark by Mark Williams right here.
All right, now we go back with the United States defending. Irish will inbound the ball. It'll be Terry Kingston once again out of the Dolphin Club. 5'10", 210-pound hooker. The United States has fared pretty well so far in the lineouts. That was a big problem in Dublin a year and a half ago. Kingston's throw is tapped down on the Irish side. Cleaned up by Irish forwards. Saverimuto exhorting his forwards to move forward until he wants it. Caught the United States offside several times in the most recent series. And that is the case again.
Ireland offsides, I think, this time.
Yep, the Irish are caught off.
He called a bit of shepherding there. There's no blocking in rugby union. And that's what he called a little bit of shepherding there in front of the Irish ball carriers, blocking the U.S. players.
That was a total of 22 rucks and mauls to date in the game. The Irish have won 14, lost 2, and the USA has won 4 out of 5.
All right, so once again, the United States will ask Matt Alexander to deliver points, although this time the task a bit more formidable. This will be a kick in excess of 50 yards with an angle. I'd estimate it at about 57 yards in the pouring rain. He opened scoring in the first minute of play with a lovely drop goal that put the United States up 3-0. Missed a 40-yarder, then hit a 40-yarder, but here he is from about 57 yards. Matt Alexander. On line, but a tad bit short. Taken by Staples, and the Irish fullback delivers the ball into touch. Or does he? Yes, he does.
The U.S. be happy with that, Dave. They've still got the ball in the Ireland half of the field, and that's exactly where they want to have it. They want to keep pushing the pressure on them until Ireland breaks for more penalty shots at goal.
Now, the United States is not a team interested in moral victories, but so far today they can take great countenance in the fact that they have played a significant amount of this match so far on the Irish side of the field. Bachelet looking for some room. He's met by a wall of green instead. Ireland takes possession, trying to set up second phase. A bit muddy on the track today. Finally, Ireland controls. Out it goes to Elwood, into the centers. Here comes Bell. Bell's upended with a dynamic tackle. That by Scharenberg, a former All-American out of Chico State. Now plays for Golden Gate, Northern California.
Yeah, that's what you were saying, Brian Vincent. They made the good tackle there, but then Ireland was able to win that ruck when they were able to get there.
All right, finally, the knock-on against Ireland is charged, and the United States will get the scrummage.
The U.S. wants to avoid any kind of mauls. The Irish has a big, big pack, and they're really good at the mauls, and that's where they're doing the damage. The U.S. is playing very well in every other facet of the match. They just have to stop that maul. They got to stop it before it starts.
And I'd like to welcome everybody.
Andre Bachelet out of the University of California, born in Australia. Led the University of California to 3 national championships. They've won a bunch. Scrum was wheeled a bit. And they're going to try it again.
Yeah. Good opportunity. Watch Paul Wallace there, a tight head, and work on Jerry McDonald, the United States loose head. He's not breaking him down right now, but he has the ability to do so. See him work him there, just bending that wing leg down.
Sal Verimuto delivers the ball ahead, taken by Mark Williams, reverses, pivots.
Life rarely imitates orange cones. Orange cones, however, can be made to imitate life. At Lexus, we've created a suspension system so advanced, it's smooth when you want it to be, unresponsive when you need it to be. The 1996 LS400. Impossible? The laws of Lexus state otherwise.
Michael showed that to find what you desire requires a great effort. You look thirsty. Gatorade?
Thanks. I've come.
I know why you have come. You wish to know the meaning of life.
And?
Life is a sport. Drink it up.
That's what I figured.
Right now, Southwest Airlines has Gotta Go fares starting at just $19 one way on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. It's such a good deal, people everywhere see it as the perfect opportunity to get away. But if you want Gotta Go fares to be your big break, you'd better hurry. Gotta Go fares from $19, only on Southwest, the low-fare airline.
The skill. The drama. The passion. The pride. The English Premier League. Monday nights at 11 Pacific, exclusively on Prime Sports.
About a quarter of a way through this match. 20 minutes gone in the first half. 2 40-minute halves. United States and Ireland here at Life College in Marietta, Georgia, all locked up at a 6-6 tie.
There's Luke Gross. That's the Indiana State basketball player. Oh, right. That's Patty Johns, excuse me.
The United States in a world of trouble now. They got the Irish inflamed, and they're right in front of their posts. Out it goes to Elwood. Elwood looking for help. He gets it from the big man, Popplewell. And Ireland scores, actually being driven back now a few yards by a determined United States pack.
Come on!
Here comes another rolling ball. Nope. Back out to the back.
Elwood's going to give his shot at a drop goal, and this one is wide. So we remain at 6-6, and the U.S. once again dodges a bullet.
I think if you asked the Irish coach at that point, if he wanted to get ball out, I think they had a chance at the overload, and I think that's where he wanted to see them handle it.
All right, Staples will field the restarted kick. High ball it goes. Mark Williams is opposite number Watson. Off for Williams. Advantage to the Irish on the knock forward, but Ireland's going to get the ball, so out they come. Elwood gets it into his Victor Costello. They've been running him in the back line a great deal this afternoon.
The referee's going to blow it up and play that first knock on by Mark Williams. He went up aggressively for it. Unfortunately for him, it didn't come down his way. Knocked forward to Ireland.
Well, you start seeing the storyline of Irish attacking rugby today. Victor Costello, a 6'6", 255-pounder. They're using him quite a bit.
Dave, when they're packing down here, watch the Irish. They have a beautiful opportunity to go weak side with a scrum move here. They have a lot of room. They have Simon Gay get on the wing. As Nick Popwell looks like tends to a shoe or some kind of injury.
Good shot there of Tommy Phillips, the United States hooker. What a set of legs on him. He's got a great platform himself. Like you say, you can't shoot a cannon out of a canoe. This guy forms a great platform in the set.
And interesting enough about him, Bo, he also was part of 4 NCAA Division III championships out of Augustana. Let's see about Ireland attacking now. Popwell picks up the ball. Going to set a platform. Savary Muto directing again toward the line, the 25-yard line of the United States. And Ireland putting on a big shove at present.
Ball controlled by Corkery at this point. Savary Muto asking for it. No, they take it blindside.
It was Fulcher who started the attack. Good coverage by Ireland after the ball fell to the floor. The United States, for its part, defending well deep inside its own territory. But Ireland, once again, methodically puts together the maul. Savary Muto about ready to ask for it. This is the rolling maul. Standing tackle, if you will. The United States again continues to defend man for man deep inside their own territory. But finally, a penalty against the United States.
That was Danny Lyle taking a shot in there in that maul that broke down.
Yeah, the Irish forwards are just taking it to the U.S. right now. If they keep it in the maul, it's going to be a long day for the U.S. That was a great play by Dan Lyle to bring the man down, but then he went over the top and reached in and got the ball. Here's a good look at it.
That was Paul Wallace, the prop, the brother of the wing, Richard Wallace.
See, there's Lyle offside. His complaint was the guy was not releasing the ball in the tackle, which you have to in rugby union. But he was offside in the process, as that's the way the referee, George Gadjovich, saw it.
Started playing rugby at VMI, former VMI cadet. He was an All-American tight end for VMI. Started playing with Washington then after that, and he's kind of the glamour boy of American rugby now.
Well, and Brian, we're seeing a little bit of respect on the part of Ireland to the United States defense right now. Ireland could have attempted to run it in for the try. Instead, they're going to go for something that might be considered on any other day a sure thing. The rain is really coming down now, and Eric Elwood sets up for what amounts to be a 30-yard field goal. And he nails it. Well, for the first time today, Ireland is out in front. 3 field goals to 2 goals. Our score's 9-6 in favor of Ireland. We'll be right back to Ireland.
DTV is on the air now. It is the most exciting computer show on cable network. It runs on Viacom, Cable 23 every day. And there you'll see Mike and I teach you everything you ever wanted to know about computers. If you're a new user or a familiar user with computers, we'll show you where computers came from, how they work, and all the latest products coming into the marketplace. It's the most exciting show on computers. You'll learn a lot. Tune in every day.
Learn about computers every day on DTV. Watch it on Viacom Cable 23 at 8:30 p.m. That's Viacom 23, 8:30 p.m.
The Key Arena will be rockin'. The Sonics are back, and you can catch the best action with Sonics Home Ticket on pay-per-view. Take the Sonics new house into your home. You don't want to miss any action. See the Sonics take on the NBA's best, only on pay-per-view. Call your local cable operator and order Sonics Home Ticket.
Experience the best Sonics home games on pay-per-view. Call your local cable company now and order the Sonics 1996 package.
is Prime Sports. We play the Northwest.
Back to Marietta. We pick up play later in the first half. Still Ireland out in front of the United States by a count of 9 points to 6.
There goes Lyle again. Get there, get there.
Bachelet has just turned completely around. The ball ends up in Irish hands. Forward they go. Corkery, who's been running all day long, gets the ball to Bell. Bell can't hang on.
Should have been a high tackle at that point. Referee letting them play on, but that was a dangerous tackle.
It was another good run by Lyle. The forwards were there.
Yeah, Corkery has been a workhorse for Ireland.
That was Jerry McDonald with the tackle.
Cross kick, this time delivered. And the U.S. centers down inside Irish territory, but they knocked it forward. When the ball came down, the ball was off the hands of Ray Green, and Ireland will have a scrummage at the point of the knock-on.
That was a great high ball by Matt Alexander, the perfect depth, and it allowed Ray Green and Mark Scherenberg to converge on the defense, but unfortunately another knock-on.
In these conditions, tough to hang on to that pick.
Exactly.
9-6, Ireland out in front. Back row movement. Staples, the fullback, with a kick, goes right to his opposite number. Mark Williams in the rain, having trouble. He's going to return the kick to them off the side of his foot. This is not helpful for the U.S. Gagan with the ball. Gagan gets it outside. Bell taken and tackled hard. Ball intercepted. Vianatoni going toward the line. He's finally pulled down from behind by Gagan, but somehow the ball goes for the United States forward. Staples is in goal, and it's going to be a 5-yard scrum to the U.S.
That was great play by the U.S. Great play all the way around. Vianatoni made a great play, set the ball perfectly, but it was very good hustle by the U.S. They're playing outstanding right now. Jack Clark's got to be pleased as anything. I mean, he's never seen an effort like this so far. A very young team playing out of their minds.
Tommy Billups down there forcing the action, too. They're just great for the hooker to be able to get downfield like that.
Well, Billups is selected in part because he does add so many extras on the field.
They got an attacking position here on the scrum. Look for it to possibly go to the right side. They got Vianatoni out on the wing, and they have a number of back row moves that they can run to the right side.
Bachelet, quick to the ball, comes out. Tardits waiting for it. The former Georgia Bulldog picks it up, moves toward the line. Tardits for the try.
Beautiful.
The second number 8 pickup of the game for the United States, and who better to have it in the hands of than Richard Tardits, who's done so much.
We talked about Richard Tardits' speed and his power earlier today. And look at this move. He just takes about 3 guys over the line with him. A beautiful try for the U.S.
Phenomenal legs, like pistons. He's got fantastically strong legs. Look at him drive.
Going back a bit, here's the interception by Vianatoni. Speedy winger. Him and Lyle are probably the 2 most valuable players in the U.S. camp today. Via's also on the U.S. National 7s team, as is Dan. Here's the tackle by Gagan, the speed of Gagan. You can see it there. But again, Via is able to set the ball for the U.S. to chip through. It was great hustle all the way around. A beautiful try. And the U.S. is just playing phenomenal right now, Dave.
The U.S. goes back out ahead, 11 points to 9 with the 5 points awarded for the try. And now here's Matt Alexander trying to add the 2-point conversion. And a bit too much to ask in these conditions. However, the United States comes roaring back with a try and now lead 11 points to 9. Interestingly enough, when they played a little over a year ago in Ireland, both teams scored 2 touchdowns.
Can you imagine that man right there, Richard Tardits, having never seen American football? He's visiting Augusta. They say, would you like to try American football? And he walks on the University of Georgia, gets 2 sacks in the spring game. Vince Dooley, the head coach, stops practice and says, you've got a scholarship. He goes on to be the all-time sack leader at Georgia, playing the National Football League for 4 years.
They did that for the Cardinals and the Patriots. And they're not done yet, are the United States. They take the kickoff right back at Ireland.
Dan Lyle coming out of there with the ball. What a game he's playing.
Matt Alexander going to test Staples again. This is going to put the Irish fullback deep in his own territory and under pressure. Staples' kick is not into touch. So Mark Williams will take it at the 50-yard line. Williams is going to deliver it high. And a lot of pressure coming from the United States. That time, the left wing was Malachi Delay. Down in a hurry, but the fair catch awarded. And it'll be up to Richard Wallace, the right wing, to deliver Ireland from trouble.
Again, the high ball just a little bit too deep for the cover defense, and I'll allow Jim Staples or Richard Wallace to take in the mark.
Wallace's punt into touch, but the United States will have good field position about 35 yards from their try line.
The United States gaining confidence from all this, and they right now are controlling the action.
Well, this is the last thing Ireland wanted. They did not want the U.S. to think they could play with them head-to-head, and that's exactly what's happening right now.
3, 4, 9.
About 10 minutes to go in the first half. Ball taken by the Irish. Well taken that time by Francis. Francis on the run. Francis going to, in a mismatch, knocks over Malachi, but however he finally is dragged down. Ireland on the run right now. They've got their gander up. That was Costello toward the U.S. line. Driving ahead now is Popplewell. Ireland just 3, 2, 1 yards away from their try.
Ireland has the weak side. There it goes.
1-on-1, and they cannot hang on. Malachi Delay could not hang on to Richard Wallace, so Wallace finishes for the try.
We'd said that the U.S. was taking it to Ireland, and we turn our cheeks, and there they come right back at him. The Irish forwards, Neil Francis, a beautiful run, just powered through everybody. Here's another look. Here's another look at the try. Savremuto to Richard Wallace. Sidesteps Delay. Delay fails to bring him down. He heading down at the point.
Heading down it, looking for a better position to put it down.
Here's the run that started off in the ruck ball. It was a good reply by Ireland, though, to regain the lead.
Well, you talk to people who've been around international rugby a long time, or have been around for a long time. You don't want to put Ireland, get them in a situation where they're backed into a corner. And I'm sure they felt that way just a moment ago.
And how did they do it? Two of the Irish forwards just simply ran over two United States defenders.
Eric Elwood is poised for his attempt at the conversion, worth 2 points if successful. And that one, does it hook in? It does. Just does slip inside the right upright. So Elwood and company answers the United States try with a converted try. And now Ireland out in front by a count of 16 points to 11.
It's important now for the U.S. to come right back at them. They can't let Ireland get their legs under them and take it right back at them. They got to regain possession and do their own damage.
One of the things the United States has to do is have better recognition. There's that long kickoff again, but not get sucked into the loose rucks. Realize that they had an overload advantage on the weak side down there.
All right, on the touchback, the ball comes back. The Irish option on the kickoff. A law change a few years ago. The Irish will have the ball at a scrummage at the midfield line. And the conditions continue to be severe here.
Watch the scrum move to this side. They've been doing it all day. Here it comes.
Savremuto to Staples. Gives a dummy. Back to Savremuto. Upended.
Hands in.
And the United States penalized. And we'll see about the possibility of a shot at goal. In the waning moments of the first half, a bit of a seesaw battle this afternoon. The United States had a couple of leads. 3-0, 6-0. Then Ireland took a lead of 9-6. And now we've got a 16-11 score.
Here's a look at that midfield scrum. They've been doing this play all day long, and unless the U.S. stopped it, they're going to continue to do it. I think the U.S. has to play their number 8 off the scrum, but then they're in danger of the scrum just keeping the ball in the scrum and pushing the U.S. forward. They're going to have to come up with a plan to stop that scrum move, or they're going to have a long day with trying to defend that move.
Same strategy with the number 8 pickup that Tardits scored on for the United States. They pick it up with Patty Johns, and as you say, been going to the right all day. Think they have perhaps an advantage out there.
Well, they know that the U.S., if they play a man off, they're going to be 7-on-8 in the scrums, and their scrum's already a dominant force, so they got that going for them as well.
All right, Eric Elwood sets for attempted goal. This time it hooks away. And that is it. We've played the first 40 minutes here at Marietta. Marietta at Life College, and this rain-soaked crowd and players watching Ireland and the U.S. battle to a 16-11 halftime score. We'll be back with halftime activities right after this.
Michael showed them to find what you desire requires a great effort. You look thirsty. Gatorade?
Thanks. I've come.
I know why you have come. You wish to know the meaning of life.
And?
Life is a sport. Drink it up.
That's what I figured.
Can your radio do this? Only one radio can give you stereo sound this big, yet is small enough to fit almost anywhere. The extraordinary new Wave radio from Bose. Press the remote control and hear sound from a radio like you've never heard before. Big, rich sound that fills the room. You hear music the way it was meant to be heard. Clear, full, incredibly lifelike. You've got to hear the Wave radio to believe it. And now you can, in your own home. Satisfaction guaranteed. Call us toll-free to learn how, and we'll deliver the Wave radio to your door. Experience big stereo sound from a radio. Call today for more information. It will make a difference in the way you listen to music. A big difference.
It's halftime. Ireland out in front of the United States by a count of 16-11. Let's take a look at our halftime statistics. Rucks and Maws, Ireland very efficient, so is the United States. Ireland has taken one of the U.S. scrums. Lineouts, pretty even up. Penalties as well. Our scoring recap. Alexander with a pair of goals put the United States up 6-0. Elwood countered for Ireland, made it 6-6. Then the tries came. Elwood with another penalty, made it 9-6. Tardits with a try for the U.S., made it 11-9. Wallace answered with a try for Ireland, and Elwood converted. 16-11 is our halftime score.
The open stuff is trying to 50-50 pass to me. Just tighten it down that little bit and just get a little bit more control. It doesn't mean we can't use the ball to
Right now, Southwest Airlines has Gotta Go fares starting at just $19 one way on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. It's such a good deal, people everywhere see it as the perfect opportunity to get away. But if you want Gotta Go fares to be your big break, you'd better hurry. Gotta Go fares from $19, only on Southwest, the low-fare airline.
If you own a home or other structure with exterior inner seal siding made by Louisiana Pacific, under the terms of a nationwide class action settlement, you may be entitled to money to replace damaged siding. This siding looks like normal wood siding. A class action lawsuit alleges that the siding may rot, crack, or deteriorate. To find out if you are eligible for money to replace damaged siding, call 1-800-245-2722 or write for more information.
Authorized by the U.S. District Court, Portland, Oregon.
You want to see hitting, scoring? You want to know if there's life after football? Yeah, they call it the NHL on Fox. It's a beautiful thing.
The NHL on Fox begins with the All-Star Game, January 20th.
USA. Don't let the name intimidate you. Leave that to the players. St. Louis at Marquette, Sunday on your regional sports network.
All right, we're back for our second half kickoff. Little sandcastle there from which Eric Elwood of Ireland will restart play. A note for the United States, Rob Randall has broken a rib. He's been replaced by Jason Walker. So the first replacement in the game. And Walker is in for Randall. Here's Elwood's kick. And it's taken by Walker.
Stay onside, stay onside, stay onside.
Bachelet gets the ball back to Alexander. It's into touch, but not a great deal.
Guys, how do you read what Murray Kidd was telling the Irish at halftime? Do you think he's given up under these conditions of trying to add some of the elements he wanted to work on this week in the back line? Or do you think the United States has given him a little bit of a scare and wants to absolutely make sure he comes away with a win here?
Well, I think he just wants to keep it in tight with the forwards. There we see a beautiful tap by the U.S. back to their side. Should get good ball here. Good clearing possibilities.
Alexander delivers another kick. This time he gets the U.S. somewhat out of harm's way out toward the 50-yard line, although Ireland still will have the throw in on the line out inside U.S. territory. Look over the shoulder of Terry Kingston. Good to take that time by Neil Francis, the banker from London. Plays for the London Irish.
That was the first clean ball we've seen him take, and look what happened. Right to a rolling ball. Sacramento is leading him very well in the scrums. He's instructing his forwards to keep driving forward. There's a ball down. He didn't see it.
Yeah, the U.S. has a right to play for it, but Francis was right there on the spot to pick it up, clean it up again. Sacramento puts it out. Gagan gets it ahead. It's Paul Wallace, the prop. Sacramento going to go to another big man. The forwards, Ireland pounding away at the United States. Elwood into his center. That time to get it to Costello again. Costello still on his feet across the 25-yard line, finally dragged down. Ball on the U.S. side. Bachelet waits. Gets Alexander into position for a kick to touch. And the ball does not find touch. So the counterattack begins with Wallace. Flips it to Staples. Staples will kick to the unoccupied area. Will he get it to touch? Williams in a hurry. Forward recover. Williams boots it off the turf, and it does not find touch. So here we go again. McQuilkin gets it to Staples. Staples delivers a booming kick ahead. That will go into goal, and that will mean that Malachi Delay will touch it down, and the U.S. will restart with a 25-yard drop kick.
It almost seems as though they're trying to feel each other out at this point. Expected this at the beginning of the game. Playing field position right now.
Well, the United States got off to a tremendous start with the drop goal. The opening kickoff. All right, drop out this time, taken by Ireland. Still inside United States territory. Ball out to the far side. Ball might have been thrown slightly forward, not discovered. So it did not occur. Out it comes again. Here's Elwood, going to go back inside to his forwards. Very definitely the Irish strategy to pound away with their forwards. Now to the backs. Elwood, McQuilkin, Bell tied up. Good tackling once again by the United States back line. One of the staples of U.S. rugby, their tackling ability.
Onside, get onside, get on.
Saramuto. Actually had Kingston the back line that time. More forwards than backs out from the Irish back line right now. Although they maintain the possession. Good block that time. And the ball taken by Alexander and booted ahead.
Chased down by Ray Green. Simon Gagan. Can't find it.
Finally, it's knocked into touch by Wallace. A pair of Irish wings defending. Good play by Matt Alexander.
Matt Alexander having a fine game, and the United States is too in lineouts in the first half. The Irish had 3 lineouts, so 1-2. The United States had 6 lineouts and 1-5. In rucks and mauls, Ireland was 27 of 30, the USA 9 of 12, and in also scrums, the Irish 1-8. The United States 1-5.
There's a beautiful block by Mal Alexander. You can see that, and he was able to knock the ball deep in Ireland's end. You can see both teams right now. Field position is so vital in conditions like this. They're going to try to keep the other teams pinned down, hopefully get some penalty opportunities and kick for goal. But you see it already in the first 5 minutes of the second half. Both teams are just trying to knock it down deep in the other team's end.
Well, Alexander, who made the great play, will now have an opportunity to take a shot at a field goal. There'll be about a 35-yarder when you take into consideration the angle from the post. So the United States rewarded not only the chance to play inside Irish territory, but now a chance for 3 more points. 16-11, Ireland out in front in the second half here in rainy Georgia.
Matt really needs to make this one. He's missed a couple makeable kicks already. He had the drop goal and 1 penalty kick, but he's missed 2 or 3 that he should have made. And this would be a big confidence booster if he's able to slot this one.
Especially after the run the United States just made, it'd be great to be able to capitalize.
Well, he did not. And now we'll see the mark taken by Elwood. And Elwood will have a chance to punt the Irish out of trouble for deep in his own territory.
The U.S. should still get pretty good field position here. It's been difficult. That was an excellent kick by Elwood.
Elwood booms them out near the halfway line. So the United States goes to work. Tom Billups, as we mentioned, a 4-year letterman on an NCAA Division III football championship team at Augustana. Most fit of all the Eagles, they say, of Billups. Ball tapped down to the Irish side. This could turn into a break for the United States, and it does. There's Billups on the spot to recover for the U.S. Bachelet pulls it out. Alexander, Scharenberg. Scharenberg is tied up.
Well, scissors action there, but slow developing, bringing it back into the pack.
Bachelet gets it out again. Alexander's going to chip it ahead. They're testing staples all day long. On the far side, Malachi Delay chases it down, and Ireland's pinned inside their own territory again. Good kick that time by Matt Alexander.
That was a beautiful play by Mark Scharenberg. When they scissored back inside, he did a great, it looked like Neil Francis had him tied up, turned towards the Ireland side, but he did a great job to get that ball back. That's what Jack Clark's philosophy is. You take it in, you got to get it back. You do anything it takes to get that ball back. We need that other phase.
Kingston to throw the ball in for Ireland. Taken by the U.S. toward the Ireland line. And a try awarded. Well, you can credit the entire U.S. pack. Who got it? Well, it was Richard Tardits who scored the try, but he had some great help on that occasion.
Here's the throw in. Watch the elevation. Oh, that was Freeman with the takedown right there in the line out. Wasn't that Freeman?
I think it was Luke Gross.
Luke
at
Gross
the front of the line. And a new cap, Jason Walker, is finally able to down the ball.
You're right, it was Walker. I saw the 8. That's number 18, Jason Walker. Another look.
Look at that leap by Gross. 6'9", great basketball player for Team Reebok, I believe, as a matter of fact, one of the USA sponsors. But constant pressure by the U.S. forwards. See, they are in this game. They know it. They're meeting right now in midfield. Their confidence is up. They got a tie game. Matt Alexander's trying to bring them over the top. But they're able to play with Ireland toe-to-toe, and that's what they wanted. Jack Clark's got to be very happy with the performance so far.
The conversion kick is good. The United States ahead of Ireland by a score of 18-16. We'll be right back.
Filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Stay cool.
Prime Sports is piling it on with Pac-10 women's hoops. Oregon's looking to NCAA three-peat. Washington State wants to send them packing. The Ducks and Cougars tip it off Saturday morning at 10:30 on Prime Sports. Is Stanford ready for a fall? The women of Troy can take it to the rack with the best of them. The Cardinals been to the big dance 7 years running. USC and Stanford tip it off Saturday live at 12:30 on Prime Sports. The skill. The drama. The passion. Irish Premier League. Monday nights at 11 Pacific, exclusively on Prime Sports.
Glove versus glove. Heart against heart. Man opposing man. Two enter the ring. One lives a dream, the other a nightmare. Prime Championship Boxing. Gladiators endure the siege to prove who has the quickness, power, and heart to be the true champion. Prime Championship Boxing. Catch the brawl Monday night on this regional sports network.
A very excited United States team and crowd right now here in Marietta, Georgia, as the U.S. is stunning Ireland. That is the Irish fly-half, Eric Elwood, who is being tended to by the trainer, John Martin, from Ireland. And there's going to be a reserve come on for Ireland in place of him. It'll be Paul Burke from Cork. But the United States stunning Ireland right now. I'm Dave Sitwell, along with Bo Bach and Brian Vizard here in Marietta, Georgia. Second half of this match, the United States and Ireland. The U.S. trying to beat Ireland for the first time.
Dave, not only Ireland, this will be the first victory for the U.S. over an IRB country, International Rugby Board, one of the major powers in world rugby. They've been to the quarterfinals, the last 3 World Cups. This would be the biggest win ever for the USA.
Staples' kick is taken by Williams. Williams returns it. Sends a bullet out of bounds, and Ireland will start inside United States territory. Well, can't get your hopes up too high right now. It's 18-16, and there's still 30 minutes to go. However, the United States doing a great job today.
Just the way they're playing right now. They're spirited. It's a young team, and Jack Clark, this is a squad that's looking forward to the 1999 Rugby World Cup in Wales, and they are playing their hearts out.
There's Paul Burke right there, who came in for Elwood, getting his first action of the day. The Irish worked very, very hard this week. They said harder than they ever have before. I wonder if some of them might be a little leg worried, but that won't make any difference in the packs and the pack and the forwards as they get it going.
Burke gets the ball. Burke on the burst again. He's the only one out there with a clean jersey now.
And fresh legs.
Ireland moving ahead with their big forwards. This is Neil Francis. Francis finally dragged down by many Eagles. And once again, Ireland up to the task of responding. Outside it goes again. This is Costello. Very close to the line are Ireland. And the United States defense had better stiffen right now. And they're going to call an offside against the United States on the preceding loose piece. And Ireland will have a chance to chip it through for goal. So the referee from Canada, George Gadjovich, let the play continue in advantage. And when Ireland could not score, he went back and he's awarded the penalty kick.
Dave, the one thing that the U.S. has to do, they got away from it there. They're tackling too high. These Irish forwards are just rolling right at them, pounding them to the floor, and they continue to carry on. They got to bring them down. They got to do the leg tackles to make that ball go to the floor.
Let's take one more look. You see the referee there. He's already awarded a penalty to Ireland. He's going to let them take a chance at scoring the touchdown. And now it'll be Burke, who just came off the Irish bench to attempt the penalty goal right out in front of the post. It's about 10 yards away. A little more than an NFL PAT for Burke and Ireland. They retake the lead, 19-18.
Introducing the revolutionary Tritech 180, the world's most versatile saw blade. Just mount the Tritech 180 on your circular saw and cut curves. Cut curves in plywood. Cut curves in 2x4s. Cut sideways to groove wood to conceal wiring or fit around pipes. It also doubles as a dado. Mount it on your table saw and cut perfect circles every time. Use the Tritech 180 to round decks, furniture, fences, sports projects, and more. Order through this special TV offer and receive these precision trammel points to mark and score precise curves and circles. You get the Tritech 180, trammel points, razor blades, and user's manual, all for only $19.95. The Tritech 180 is not sold in stores, so have your credit card ready and call now.
To order your TriTech 180, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-278-8833. That's 1-800-278-8833. Or send $19.95 plus $4.95 to the address on your screen. Call now.
This is Prime Sports. We play the Northwest.
Poise. Power. The search is on for world-class bowling. It's as simple as the ABC World Team Bowling Challenge with a new stop every week on this regional sports network.
And now his replacement puts Ireland back out in front by one. 19-18 to score. And Ireland a bit feisty now after retaking the lead. Takes the deep kickoff. And once again, an old story here this afternoon. They depend on their forwards to initiate their offensive thrust.
David, all starts with that tackle. If you get them around the legs and put them to the floor, they can't do the rolling maul, which they're so dangerous today. We've seen the experience that they have in the forward pack, and then they just give supreme ball out to their backs.
Burke with the kick ahead this time, delivers a dandy. Mark Williams, Arizona's his own line, delivers out to Anatoni. Anatoni does get the ball kicked. Good play by Via Anatoni, backing up Mark Williams.
Good spacing, knew exactly where to go, and a good delivery of the ball, too.
High in support of Williams. Just does get away before he is hammered by Jonathan Bell.
Good opportunity for a tap line out for Ireland, maybe around the back. But if they can bring down good ball and start that maul again, which we've been seeing all day, they may just try that. There it comes. Watch the scrum out here. He's just taking charge, directing his forwards which way to go, which way the ball is going, taking U.S. hands off. He's just in complete control there. That's what a good young scrum man has to do.
Salveri Muto waiting. However, the ball pops out. The U.S. gets it. Now they're going to say offsides against the U.S. And very quickly, Burke jumps in and says he wants to take a shot at goal. So Paul Burke, who just a moment ago connected to give Ireland a 1-point lead, can extend it now. Let's have another look.
As we see it around the fringe, we see the maul. Salveri Muto directing his troops. The U.S. got in there and the referee ruled offside.
Yeah, it was Tom Billups a little bit over anxious. They deked him a little bit there too.
So Burke, you see his view, the uprights. He extends the Irish lead. Ireland down in front, 22-18. We'll be back right after this.
Right now, Southwest Airlines has Gotta Go fares starting at just $19 one way on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. It's such a good deal, people everywhere see it as the perfect opportunity to get away. But if you want Gotta Go fares to be your big break, you'd better hurry. Gotta Go fares from $19, only on Southwest, the low-fare airline.
When I got rid of my gray hair, I wanted a natural look, so I didn't take any chances. I used the sure thing for a natural look called Just for Men.
Apply Just for Men, and in 5 minutes, rinse. It's specially timed to blend away gray, bring back your natural look, and condition hair.
It's a sure thing.
Just for Men, the sure thing for a natural look. And now try Just for Men Color Gel for the hard-to-color hair of mustaches and beards. Brush in, rinse out. Just 5 minutes.
It's hard to think of something more important to a kid than their bike. That's why State Farm, along with the help of the Good Neighbor, sponsors the Bike Rodeo, just one of the many safety programs we support throughout the country. It's where we give kids a lesson in bike safety to help make sure their bikes are in good condition and to teach kids to ride more responsibly. Because at State Farm, we want to make sure children are safe no matter where their bikes take them.
State Farm is there.
The competition, the determination, the drama, the elation, the English League highlights.
Catch up on all the action every week on this regional sports network.
He shocked you as the Lawnmower Man. I am God. Now he's back. I have a billion calls to make. And more terrifying than ever.
He can destroy our world. He figures we'll have to turn to him as the new messiah in cyberspace.
In 3 days, I'll be in every system in the world.
You've got to stop Joe before it's too late.
His universe is mine. Lawnmower Man 2, Beyond Cyberspace. Rated PG-13. Starts Friday.
Paul Burke was enjoying this game in the stands like so many of the fans, and now he's come on and booted 2 penalty goals for Ireland, and the Irish shot in front of the United States 22-18 midway through the second half here in Marietta, Georgia.
As long as you're out here, might as well be playing.
They're probably warmer than we are.
That's right.
Again, the Irish have it in the ball position.
Burke with a kick, and that puts the U.S. back toward the halfway line. The United States will have a line out just inside the 50-yard line.
Good opportunity to see when you come off the bench the depth of Ireland and these international squads to be able to come off with somebody like Burke to replace Elwood, who's having a great game. And here's Burke, he doesn't miss a beat.
Well, he had 4 conversions and 2 penalties against Fiji when they routed 44-8. He's got 6 caps under his belt, so that's a nice guy to have on your bench.
Down the Irish way. With the United States forwards ready to mix it up. And Ireland rebuilds, repacks, and gets ready to move again. As long as you're not on the ground, you can keep the ball in your hands. Now you see Ireland, they've gone to what is called the ruck, the ball on the floor now, but the United States comes up with it. Alexander chips it. Taken by the wing, that's Wallace. Wallace kicks it. Will he find touch? No. At the other end of it is Bachelet. They're going to call a knockout? Oh, I don't think that ball went forward.
That looked like a great play by Andre Bachelet. I'm very surprised at the call. Maybe if we get a replay, maybe we can check it out. But that looked like a good play on in my mind.
George Gadjovich, the referee, says that Bachelet missed the ball and knocked it forward, knocked it backward. However, Ireland will take advantage of it. And the ball back into touch off the United States foot. Ireland will have a throw-in inside U.S. territory.
As we had a look at Bachelet, he's the captain of the U.S. team. He's got to get his troops back going forward. It's been the history of the U.S. to play strong for 60 minutes, 50, 60, 70 minutes, but they fold that last 10 or 20 minutes. In Jack Clark's regime, he's had a lot of close games. He's never had a blowout, and they got to play for the full 80.
Francis takes the ball for Ireland.
Terrence Kingston packing it in there for the Irish. Number 2.
Now the United States holding its ground right now. As a matter of fact, turning the tide as the ball is now being marched back out toward the halfway line, and the U.S. earns the scrummage. Good play by the U.S. forwards.
Great play. Jason Walker right in the thick of it there, earning his first cap. He's right in the thick of it. He's already scored a try. He's got fresh legs. He's having a very good debut.
Paul Wallace on the ground right now, taking a break. Trainers are looking at him.
John Hisamoto, who does a great job as the physio for the United States team, and he's busy now. After they have a quick look-see at
Joe Rizzoni making his first cap from old Puget Sound Beach.
He's a 4-year wrestler at Oregon. Matter of fact, he qualified for the NCAA Division I championships back in 1990. He's a wrestler for the Ducks, so he's used to this weather.
But not much rugby experience, and that's where the United States is going now, trying to get some athletes, some strength athletes, as well as some athletes in the back line that perhaps don't have that much rugby experience, but whom you can develop.
Well, he was a new player to Jack Clark's program. He just showed up at the Eagle camp in Long Beach while he was invited to the camp, and he just performed so well. He did so well in the scrummaging, and they knew they were in for a battle in the scrummages against Ireland. That's why he's here today, and he's doing a very good job.
His matchup today is against the best in the world, Hopplewood.
You see the Ireland number 8 here. He's standing off to the left side. I don't know if they have enough room to go to the weak side on a scrum move. We'll see. It's coming out strong.
Kick ahead by Alexander. Staples in the neighborhood. Behind the 25. Now he's out in front. He has to kick it in play. He does to Williams. At the other end, it's off Williams. It jumps into touch. Bad luck for the United States and to Mark Williams.
That's a very bad break for the U.S. Mark did everything he could. Realized if he tried to catch on a fly, there's a possibility of a knock-on. Here's the long ball. Watch Williams. He decides, nope, can't do it, but it hits him and then goes into touch. It's Ireland throw in deep in the U.S. end of the pitch here.
Tough break, and you have to work around that. You have to be able to overcome that.
They've been going to Neil Francis in the middle of the line. Let's see what they do here.
All right, we're into that last 20 minutes you were talking about a moment ago. We'll see if the United States can keep up the initiative. Kingston's throw, well, that was a bit on the onside. I didn't know Neil Francis could jump quite that high all by himself. Ireland now toward their line, within 5 yards of the try. Sarimuto trying to handle, now the ball being mussed about. The U.S. defenders staying firm.
They got to hold him out here, Dave. They have to hold him out.
It's a rolling ball. The Irish would love to control it right here and just walk it over, but they get it out.
6 Irishmen in the back line, ready to go. And that time it went down with Costello. Back out it goes again. Burke. Corkery. Burke again with the wing inside. Here's Staples across the way to Wallace, and Wallace is knocked into touch. Big defense by the United States. Well, you're talking about a 3rd down stand. That's just about what the U.S. accomplished there.
Watch this. If you see David Corkery, well, prior to that, he made the decision to come back inside. He had about 4 or 5 guys outside of him, and there was only 2 or 3 U.S. Eagles out there. He made the bad decision of coming back inside. It allowed the U.S. to regain and cover on the cover defense.
Mark Williams and Malachi Delay forcing Wallace into touch, and now we have a break again. John Hisimoto very busy right now.
Excuse me, Dave. They had we've had a couple of overload situations this afternoon, and both teams have not taken advantage of all of those situations, as you just said, Brian.
Look at the crowd chanting for Dan Lyle to stay in. He's having an outstanding game for probably the last year. So he's only been playing the game 2 or 3 years, but the last year he's been the man in U.S. rugby.
Former All-American tight end at VMI. Had his first ever match.
Here's a look at Corkery cutting back inside. It was a bad decision. It allows the U.S. to get back and solidify their defense and allows them to push him to the touch.
That's the way historically Ireland has been playing. Murray Kidd would rather he got the ball outside.
All right, so they're going to talk about Dan Lye. We'll see if he continues. We'll be right back.
Come on, let's go.
Does anyone here think there'll be a cure for AIDS?
Definitely.
How do you know?
I don't know, but you have to believe. Some people don't believe AIDS is a problem that affects everyone.
And that's the biggest danger. People should realize AIDS is a threat to everyone.
I think it's just a matter of time before this is brought under control.
Some of us don't have the time.
It's hard to think of something more important to a kid than their bike. That's why State Farm, along with the help of the Good Neighbor, sponsors the Bike Rodeo, just one of the many safety programs we support throughout the country. It's where we give kids a lesson in bike safety to help make sure their bikes are in good condition and to teach kids to ride more responsibly. Because at State Farm, we want to make sure children are safe no matter where their bikes take them.
State Farm is there.
You'd better get ready, because Prime Sports is bringing you your biggest, baddest college hoop season ever. In fact, it's too much. With 99 live and 136 men's and women's games overall, Prime Sports covers the court this season like nobody else. Only a basketball maniac would even try to keep up. Too much hoops, all season long on Prime Sports.
Decision to stay in the game. Ireland puts the ball inbounds. About 5 yards away from a try, and it's taken away by the U.S. See if the forwards can continue the momentum now. Bachelet with a kick, and that delivers the Eagles at least 25 yards away now, or Ireland. Tommy Billups had the big play inside to get the ball back for the United States.
And a good athletic move by Bachelet to get it out.
Tough kid, Terry Kingston. 5'10", 210 pounds. Must throw the ball directly down the middle of the lineout. Ireland controls.
The rucks and mauls, Ireland has had 11 of them. They've had 13, won 11. They've kicked twice out of it and won 9 times. The United States have had 4. They've won 4 and kicked all 4 times.
Burke kicks ahead, the ball taken into goal, and I believe this will be a 5-yard scrum unless the United States gets a break, and I believe, nope, they don't. Nope. I thought that George Gadjovich, the referee, would have rewarded the dropout. Instead, it's going to be a 5-yard scrum.
As you take a look at that action that just took place, as the scrum is going to approaching here, it looks like Ireland's going to keep it in the scrum and try for a pushover try. Paddy Johns has it up, had his feet, and the U.S. just collapses, losing their feet. It's tough conditions down here, but the U.S. has to be careful. If they bring that down again or once or twice, he may award a penalty try. They got to keep it up. They just got to hold out the Irish.
Chris Savarimuto. Doesn't sound Irish, does it? Mother is Irish. His father is from Pakistan. Born in the British Isles. And now here he is representing Ireland and waiting for the football right now. And it's taken away.
Great job by Jason Walker. Look at the legs turning. Get there, Eagles. Get there. Go over it. Go over it.
The United States got to come with everything they've got now. Bachelet is going to get the ball back to Alexander under pressure. Kicks the ball into touch. Not much, though. So Ireland will have the line out just inside the 25-yard line in the end of the United States.
Dave, here's another look at the scrum. Watch the heads-up play by Andre Bachelet. You can see it's coming out of the scrum. It's out of their feet right now. He picks up, but that goes right to Jason Walker. And watch Walker just churning. And the U.S. were lucky to get this back. They weren't there in numbers, but then finally the forwards arrive and they're able to clear.
Let's go, U.S.
So Jerry McDonald shaken up, number 1. Debuted back in 1989 against Ireland. Very productive player all around the field. Plays for Washington, D.C. Captain of Washington, as a matter of fact. And he's going to carry on.
Watch for Francis again here in the middle of the Ireland line. They're taking out some good ball. In the front with Fulcher.
A bit of the Springbok in the Irish today.
Certainly are finding they could probably pull down the moon right now the way they're jumping in that line out.
Gotta come out.
Savarimuto to Burke. They've got the flankers in again. This is Corcoran. He's upended. Down he goes. Well, the United States defense certainly doing its job now. They go the other way. Bell's pass slightly forward, knocked forward. The United States will get a scrummage. But I'll tell you what, just a moment ago, Ireland was rucking about a foot away. 5 minutes later, the United States' very difficult, strong defense has gotten them out of the hole.
I'm sorry, Dave. Look for a scrum move here. The loose forwards are talking with each other. Now it's going to be cleared by Andre to Matt Alexander. He's going to clear the touch.
Alexander under great deal of pressure. Kicks with either leg, uses his left foot to knock it into touch again. They pick up about 5 more yards.
One thing I've been very impressed with today is the U.S. scrummaging. I mean, everybody came in thinking they're going to get destroyed in the scrums and the lineouts. They've held their own in the lineouts, but they've especially done very well in the scrums today.
And early on, the Irish were trying to test them. Looked as though they were having their way, but the United States has responded toughly in the scrum.
Kingston. Ball just deaded on the floor. Here's Burke. He's going to test Williams this time. So Mark Williams waits underneath, calls the mark, and he's awarded the mark, which is the rugby equivalent of a fair catch. The interesting thing about the rugby fair catch, though, it only protects the field position, not the players, not like the NFL. So in other words, you call the mark, and they can still knock your block off. But let's take a look. You must call mark as you catch it simultaneously. You saw Mark Williams call that mark by coincidence, his first name. And now he will restart play with a kick, and that carries into touch, and Ireland will have a line out again inside U.S. territory.
That's a heck of a boot under these conditions.
Well, it's been a while for the United States to have the ball in their hands inside Irish territory, but they're going to need to initiate an attack soon. They're down by 4 points. They need to score a touchdown or a try. 11 minutes or so remain in the game.
The United States hasn't had an impressive backline movement today that really has gotten them into the loose or into Irish territory where they had a chance to use their athletic ability. There's Popplewell taking the ball.
Now we've seen quite a bit of this today. Irish mauling. Burke's going to test the weak side. Flips it out. Here's Gagan, one of the fastest in the world. Gagan skirts down the side. Gagan with the move. Finally taken down. Delivering the ball. That was to Corkery, and he is boomed.
But he stepped out of bounds, Dave.
They're going to call the ball into touch. Before we resume play, though, the referee wants to talk with the United States about the high tackle here.
Here's another look at that pass was marginally forward, but Simon Gagan, you can just see how explosive he is. He just slides into touch right there before play continues.
You see him slide back and forth. You know what he does for a living, don't you? He's an attorney. That's true.
Very shifty.
And Mark Williams delivered a forearm shiver at that point, and that's why the referee is talking to the United States right now. Just absolutely rocked him.
Touch. You went into touch. Get away.
Well, the referee, now George Gadjovich, is going to confer with his touch judge, and we'll see how they sort this out. So we'll be back with more with our score 22-18.
You ever hear anyone talk about life like you gotta chew it up and spit it out? You gotta want it so bad you can taste it. You gotta be hungry. If so, Gatorade has one question for you. You want something to drink with that? Because you're gonna be thirsty. Life is a sport. Drink it up.
The Breeders' Cup is finally here. Now racing's greatest day is the season's biggest hit on home video. Call 1-800-257-8000 to bring home best of the Breeders' Cup. The first 10 unforgettable years.
Does it?
70 incredible races.
It's a photo finish.
All on one special 2-hour video cassette. Best of the Breeders' Cup is now only $19.95 plus shipping and handling. 1-800-257-8000. Call now.
People tend to judge who we are by what we wear, which gives great meaning to the choices one makes at Fanfare. Because while our selection is perfect for backing the home team, there will always be those who root for the underdog.
Ireland out in front of the United States. Dave's sitting with Bo Bach and Brian Vizard at Life College in Marietta. The United States with a line out now at the 25, their own 25-yard line. However, Ireland will control it. And the referee whistle, and Ireland guilty of a line-out infraction. The United States with a break, they'll get a penalty kick.
Dan Lau was being held, couldn't pursue the ball.
So Matt Alexander, as he has been asked so many times today to deliver the United States from their own territory, does with a kick out near the halfway line, where Ireland will have the line out.
Here's the line out again, deep in their own end of the field. They're going to throw to the middle of the line, but unfortunately that's where Neil Francis is as well. He gets the tap down, and as Lyle goes to get down on the ball, he's held from behind. Penalty to the U.S. They have to march it into the Ireland half and try to take advantage of some foul playing ability of the back line. They haven't been in position to run the ball yet this half that we've really seen, so hopefully we can win some ball and see a back line run.
All right, with the kick into touch on the penalty, Tom Billups of the United States will put the ball back into play, taken at the end of the lineup by the U.S.
Dan Lyle, another good take. Yeah, should have some pretty good ball coming back here.
And they got Tardits, cannot handle it.
I believe that was Jason Walker.
You are absolutely correct.
It's just slippery conditions, and even though that pass was a short one, which should have been handled, it's just so wet out here. It's very difficult for any of the players to get a handle on the ball.
Thought he had an overload at the outside, just a little bit over anxious, took his eye on the ball, wanted to make that quick toss.
Look for another raking kick by Paul Burke here to try to put the U.S. deep.
Burke's kick will challenge Mark Williams. Williams can only tap it forward a few feet. And once again, Ireland remains on the attack deep inside U.S. territory.
Simon Gagan has got scintillating speed, doesn't he? He's forced the action every time on this side.
Well, that was a nice kick by Burke. And in these conditions, Mark Williams can't get there too quick. He'll slide on his behind, but Gagan does have world-class speed. He's one of the best wingers in the world.
Ireland controls the line out. Again, deep inside U.S. territory. Burke cannot handle. Here come the U.S. tacklers. They miss an opportunity there. The Turkish turn backwards. Supported by Costello. And the Irish forwards now marching. Salveramuto waiting, directing. Francis with the ball. Leaves it for Kingston. Kingston 5 yards away. Salveramuto goes to Burke. Burke with the flanker. The big flanker is Poppery. And the ball knocked forward. The United States will get the scrummage.
Very dangerous situation, all set up by Neil Francis's smart play. In that ruck, in that maul that they had going, was able to leave it behind. The United States didn't see it. Ireland picked it up looking for the ball and got it outside.
Again, if Burke would have got it out wide, though, Ireland would have had an overload out there. Well, here's one against the head. You don't want to see this here. Hold him out, Eagles.
Costello, the big flanker, finally held up. Ireland knocking at the door. Bachelet somehow comes up with it. Alexander delivers it out. Under pressure, though, on the Eagles.
Out of there.
Eagles will be well right now to just deliver for a 5-yard scrum, and that's what they do. So when the Eagles took the ball back into the goal themselves, they touch it down. It results in a 5-yard scrum for Ireland.
For the game so far, Ireland has had 52. Rucks and Mauls have 145. The United States have had 16 and 113.
Watch a scrum move coming towards us here. Oh, they got split backs now, so let's see what happens. Petty John's at the base. Another pushover opportunity. Now they just settle them all.
Petty John initiates the ball. Salveramuto goes to Burke. Burke with 2 outside him. Wanted to take it himself. Knocked down at the other end by Williams. Picking up the ball at the time is Jan Lyle. He's been everywhere today.
Let it go, let it go, go! The ball, let it go! Come down. No one's moving forward.
Scrimmage, and it's awarded to Ireland. Well, with injury time, there's probably about 7, maybe 8 minutes remaining in the match. The United States has been battling with their backs up against the wall for most of the second half.
Yeah, Dan Lyle, unfortunate there not to get the ball back for the U.S. team. Ireland were just there in numbers, and he was unable to force the ball back towards his squad. Petty Johns with a quick pickup off the base.
That's one of his fortes. He leaves it for Salveramuto. Here's the big boy, Popwell. Moves Ireland so much closer to the try. Salveramuto is going to pick it up. Delivers it. No, keeps it himself. Is he denied, or does he make it? Well, they're going to let him start again, 5 yards away. So Chris Salveramuto stopped. by the Eagles right at the try line.
All started by Patty John's pickup, and they worked on that all week long. And that's one of the things they do best, and they haven't forgotten. As much as they want to work the back line, they want to continue to use Patty John's in the number 8 pickups.
You can see Tom Billups getting his forwards together while Dan Lyle is tended to with a knock to the head. But Tommy Billups is the leader of the forward pack for the U.S. team. He's been around for the last 3 or 4 years, and he is just the inspirational leader trying to get his team going.
22 points to 18, Ireland leading the United States. Third international match between these two countries. About 5, maybe 6 minutes to go. The referee is the timekeeper.
Mazzoni, a great job against Popplewell that time.
They move the ball off to Gagan, no room there. Staples, no room for him either. The Irish forwards are there in a hurry and in numbers. Salisbury Muto trying to get the ball out of there. Burke, Francis. That's a big truck going through that line right now. Down, they finally get him. Popplewell close to the line. He's denied. Salisbury Muto can't find the handle. And the U.S. gets a break. No, they don't. They're going to call an offside against the U.S. in the corner.
Yeah, the referee had played a long advantage there. I think it was the right opportunity or the right moment to play the advantage. Ireland was just cracking at the line. Great play by Via Anatoni to thwart him, but Ireland with another chance for 3, or they may scrummage from here.
And a tough break for the United States there, because that's exactly what they needed to do. Make a stop, get the ball in the open field, and hopefully go the distance.
This is a very interesting call. In any other international sense, this is the right move. 22-18, a three-pointer would put the Irish up by 7. As we take another look at the play by the United States to deny Ireland a try. But here, the United States coming of age today, here's an International Rugby Union board country like Ireland, one of the old boy clubs. And now they are kicking a penalty goal late in the game, trying to seal a victory against the United States.
Might be this kick one of the signature moments in U.S. rugby history, because, as you say, they're giving them credence right here, right now. They certainly don't want to go into Scotland with a loss here.
Now, and the U.S. is giving Ireland everything they can handle. Well, here's Paul Burke will come into your screen from your right screen. There he is. And off the bench, Burke is perfect kicking. Well, Burke pulls them ahead further, 25-18 in favor of Ireland.
It's hard to think of something.
This week, Viacom Cable has the answers. As the biggest cases in the country head for the courts, find out what it all means and how it affects you. Catch the expert analysis weekdays on CNN's Burden of Proof. And for the lighter side, join host Edwin Newman for some of the most outrageous tabloid tales since Elvis married an alien. Weekly World News on USA Saturday night.
More of what you're looking for on Viacom Cable.
Picasso painted the old guitarist during a period of depression that lasted 4 years, his blue period. Today, with new discoveries, 80% of depressive disorders are being successfully treated, giving hope to millions that maybe now, nobody has to have a blue period.
This is Prime Sports. We play the Northwest.
Paul Burke delivers a field goal for Ireland. They lead by 7, and the United States is going to have to mount their best attack of the day. They need a converted try to catch Ireland. Not much time remains. Burke kicks the ball into touch.
Well, this is the best field position the U.S. has had in a half for probably about a half hour here. They have to take advantage. They got to bring this ball down and do something with the backs. They got to get it deep in Ireland's end.
We are now approaching injury time. That is the time the referee puts back into the game while players are injured. So the United States must make haste.
These are huge possessions challenge right now. The United States has got to get ball. They've got to get something going.
Well, for the moment, they are inside Irish territory. However, that will be corrected in just a moment. Burke with a clearing kick down to Williams. He may have to counterattack. Not much time to kick. Here's Williams on the counter.
Link up, boys.
Inside. There's Malachi. Galai. He is tackled.
The Eagles have to get there in numbers or they're going to lose it. There it is.
Bachelet gets it out.
Here we go. An overload out there.
Alexander gets it to Malachi again. He has help out there from Lyle. But the ball moves into touch. And each time that whistle blows, the United States gets perilously close to the end of this match.
Each whistle takes about a minute out of the game, Dave.
And you have to attack every time now. Have to take something out of the playbook. A little bit of whoopity-doo now.
Here's Richard Wallace getting tended to. Looks like a bad shoulder.
Now,
one of the wingers for Ireland.
In case you're wondering about the timing now, this is exactly what injury time's all about. The referee is adding the amount of time that Wallace has been out of action to the game. And with as many times we've had stoppages in the second half or injury, we'd expect about another 3, maybe 4 minutes remain. Francis with the take for Ireland. Ireland with the ball secured inside U.S. territory. The waning moments. Marietta, Georgia. The United States trying to take one away from Ireland, but for the moment, the Irish with the 7-point advantage.
Ireland wasn't doing anything with the ball. Turnover. This is a great break for the U.S. They may have enough room to run a weak side move on the left side of the scrum there.
It's been very difficult for either team to break the line to the strong side with their running backs.
Running strong.
Bachelet to give the ball to Scharnberg. Scharnberg's tied up immediately by Corkery. The United States maintain possession. Bachelet and the Eagles desperately need it.
Ball's on the floor, offside.
Yep. It's a penalty against the Irish, but the United States are not in a position to kick. They're going to have to run. Alexander, however, kicks it. That's where Staples waits. The Irish fullback will simply kick it back into U.S. territory. Malachi did not knock it forward. He delivers a kick ahead with a flying touch and bounces once. Picked up on the far side by Wallace. Wallace still on his feet, breaks another tackle. And a kick.
We're going to link up now, deliver.
Williams looking for Anatoni, delivers right into his stomach, and that's going to be a knock-on. And it'll be an Irish scrummage deep inside the territory, but it's all for naught. The referee has whistled at the end of the game.
Dan Lau.
And Ireland has come away with the victory, 25 points to 18. And we'll be back to Marietta, Georgia to talk about this one right after these messages. Once again, our final score, 25-18, Ireland over the USA.
Right now, Southwest Airlines has Gotta Go fares starting at just $19 one way on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. It's such a good deal, people everywhere see it as the perfect opportunity to get away. But if you want Gotta Go fares to be your big break, you'd better hurry. Gotta Go fares from $19, only on Southwest, the low-fare airline.
That was a beautiful block right there. Davis, that's to Drain.
Watch him get up here. Here he goes.
Okay, bingo, bango, bongo that one. In comes the crowd.
Okay, Prime Sports has got Pac-10 men's and women's hoops with live back-to-back Metro and Pac-10 games of the week. Exclusive live men's and women's Big Sky. Live Gonzaga WCC in the lane. And the Supersonics taking it to the NBA. When you're with Prime Sports, you got all the shots.
It was their third meeting this afternoon. The United States gave Ireland everything they could handle. The final score, once again, Ireland at 25, the United States 18. Bo's down on the field. He has a chance to visit with one of the Eagles who took place in this afternoon's game.
He's wearing an Irish jersey, but this is the American fullback, Mark Williams, and Mark playing fullback for the first time in an international match. It was tough for you back there, especially with guys like Simon Gagan bearing down on you.
Yeah, the conditions didn't help. It was very difficult to catch the high ball, and the ball that was kicking through was getting stuck in the water. And of course, Simon, being the great player that he is, was chasing everything. But I thought we did pretty well back there, and I was reasonably happy with our performance back there, but just very disappointed in the result.
Did very well back there. The United States wasn't able to execute too many backline movements under these conditions, and I think that's probably a little bit more, without a doubt, the United States game.
Yeah, I think you saw them running the ball a little bit more, but I think that they had problems running it, and they really weren't going too far when they were running the ball. It was very difficult to run the ball in the conditions, and of course we'd have hoped for a better day, so we could have run the ball more. But given the conditions and given the amount of ball that we had compared to the Irish going forward, it was very difficult for us to run the ball.
Mark, great effort. Good to see you.
Thanks very much. Thanks.
And it was a gallant effort here this afternoon, but Ireland trips the United States by a final score of 25-18. We'll be back.
Right now, Southwest Airlines has Gotta-Go fares starting at just $19 one way on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. It's such a good deal, people everywhere see it as the perfect opportunity to get away. But if you want Gotta-Go fares to be your big break, you'd better hurry. Gotta-Go fares from $19, only on Southwest, the low-fare airline.
Hey guys, we got a problem. Fanfare is selling our clothes. NFL Pro Line?
Oh, great. Now everyone can look like us.
Big deal. Who could ever pass for us? Oh gosh, what if they fool the press?
There I was, 4th and goal.
And wearing Pro Line's probably gonna get them right on the field, right? Maybe I'm taking this whole thing a little too serious.
Come on, we can take these guys.
The NFL Pro Line, available at Fanfare.
You feel like walking on the wild side?
Consider credit card rebates, gasoline, airline miles, cars. Many can hold you down with restrictions or yearly limits, but not the Discover card. The more you use your card, the higher your cashback bonus award, and you're never restricted on how you can use cash. When it comes to rebates from the Discover card, the sky's the limit. It pays to Discover, the card that pays you back. Use it where you see the Novus sign.
It is where the lofty atmosphere of most luxury cars is left behind. It is the American-built flagship of Toyota, Avalon. Combining refined performance, comfort, and Toyota's unparalleled reputation for quality, Avalon delivers the greatest luxury of all, peace of mind. Avalon, experience the tranquility.
Today's Prime Sports Rugby 96 has been brought to you by Gatorade. Life is a sport. Drink it up. Although the U.S. gave Ireland all that it could handle, the Irish make it 3 straight against the USA. Promotional consideration provided by Delta Airlines. Thanks for joining us today. Once again, our final score, Ireland at 25, the U.S. 18. Now for Bo Bach and to Brian Vizard, I'm Dave Sitton saying so long, everybody, from Marietta, Georgia.